Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be giving an update on NIO as well as a little bit of the longer term perspective into this one. So I'm going to be discussing both trading and investing in this one here. My other video in terms of the long term, you'll find it in the description below. Watch this one first for an update. Make sure you drop a like to help this channel grow, subscribe, and turn notifications on to get the latest out of it. Without further ado, I'm going to go through technical analysis, then news, and then how I'm going to be trading up the stock. So first things first, you get to look at the MACD. It's actually curving up, turning in almost to the positive. I would say sometime next week that reversal would be confirmed. Now it's kind of flirting with that reversal, but it's definitely looking like it would actually test it. William percent R here is sitting a little bit towards the overbought situation, heading in a little bit closer to neutral, and the ADX shows in a very strong trend that could be forming here soon. Momentum is a bit stable in the last few days, sitting in around 1. 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, so that is bullish, and the stock price is above the 50 SMA. That is as well bullish, and it's way above the 200 SMA. That's as well bullish. So in terms of volume has been steady. Nothing exciting happening here with volume. Around 50 million every day. Still considered high for stocks trading in that kind of category. Now moving on towards the 1 hour interval, what we get to see here is basically the same news in terms of MACD curving up as soon as Monday. ADX does not show any strong trend. It's more of around the sloppiness a little. And the William percent R is sitting in neutral, and momentum here is a little bit quiet. Now, the stock price on the 1 hour interval, the 30 EMA is above 10 SMA, so that's bearish, and the stock price is under 50 SMA. That is as well bearish. Now, the bullish in terms of average is that the stock price is above the 200 SMA. So what we need to look at is supports, resistances, and different catalysts coming in. That would get the stock to run, for instance. So moving averages here, we're trading a little bit on the top side of the moving average band. So we do expect for it to at least hit around the 1282. It's going to be trading between 1282 and 1418. So that kind of be the way for it. But of course, different catalysts coming in that I'll mention in a second. I probably wouldn't see that happening. In terms of Fibonacci retracements here, what we get to see is that we're sitting literally at a support around 1345 on the Fibonacci support. Now, traditional support sits in around 13.3 after that, and there's also 13.38 from way back here. And then we're looking at 13.15 back here, and then 13.01, and then 12.96, a Fibonacci support 12.74, followed by 12.65, traditional 12.62, 12.46, and then we're looking at 12.26 back here. And then another one at 12.05, and then a Fibonacci support 11.87 comes into resistance. What we're seeing here is 13.6, 13.72, and then we're seeing 13.88, 13.98, looking 14.16, and then we're seeing 14.32, and just above that we're looking at 14.57. Of course, here 1435, 1432 is very close. So in terms of trend lines here, we can try to see what the trend line is sitting at. So trend line is that is the price one. So here's the trend line quickly, and what we get to see for that trend line is that it hasn't broken it yet. Now we can also draw another trend line somewhere around here, and that hasn't broken either yet. Now we're gonna try something here, Fibonacci arcs, and it doesn't give us any information at all. It did give us somewhere around this region where a reversal will be likely, but it's far off from here. So moving on now, we're looking at the latest news for this company, and it's a little bit more excitement coming in. Before we move forward, you can see the NIO had a July 2020 delivery update, and basically the main highlights here are the top. I'm not going to go through the exact details, but NIO delivered just above 3,500 vehicles in July 2020, increasing by 322% year per year. NIO delivered 17,702 vehicles in 2020 so far, increasing their total 111.3% year over year. And cumulative delivery of ES8 and ES6 reached 49,615 vehicles so far. This basically says exact same news, just a different part. Their earnings is on the 11th for quarter 2. And that's Tuesday. It's at 8 a.m. US Eastern Standard Time, so before market. And then here's the interesting thing that I'm loving right now. we get to see here a lot of institutional transactions, as it did iterate before, and it seems August is moving forward as well. So we're seeing here all the way from the 3rd to the 7th for the August, increasing shares by 343% or 3.5 times, 76, 95. Of course, we do have one that half their entire portfolio for this company by almost 50% down. We still have new shares coming in, 33,000. We see here 99,000. I believe this is additional shares added. 19,000, 6,500. The biggest one I'm looking at is the 374,000 and 60,000. There's a lot of institutional shares, especially coming in before earning. And what it looks like is a lot of companies are considering this to be a little bit of a longer term. And I did talk about this stock quite a lot about having a lot of longer term potential. You'll find my other video in the description for the longer term, as well as my previous video. Now, in terms of financials, what is my earnings expectations? So what I'm going to go through right now is a little bit of the previous earnings. Of course, this one, the expected earnings is negative 0.26 at an estimated revenue of $500 and almost $4 million. What we're going to be looking at here quickly is their previous earnings. Even though I know there's a lot of different operations that have moved the stock quite a bit forward, that would basically almost definitely beat its last year's earnings. Last year's earning per share was around last quarter was negative 1.66, and you can see the estimate there is far less. Previous as well is negative 2.81. So from last year, the EPS is negative 3.23. And you can see a really nice increase in revenue and decrease in the negative EPS. So what my expectations is, it would really get close to at least a negative 0.5. I don't think it's going to miss its estimated earnings, and that's kind of my bet on it. But now going on to how I would trade it. So that's definitely something you want to be careful of, is that people don't buy the rumor, sell the news, as it happened with a lot of stocks recently, where the hype goes up and then they sell as soon as the news hits, even if it's good news. So what I would do is, a part of me wants to sell before the earnings and then buy it later for dips, or hey, if it doesn't dip, maybe I'll buy it at a little bit higher average once it accumulates and looks again nice. But I would consider selling early on morning on Tuesday morning, or in the extended market on Monday evening. But if you are still not thinking that, hey, it's not going to be buy the rumors, hit the news, or it's not going to meet their earnings, you can still make really nice profit just trading onto the earnings hype. Definitely a solid company for me. One of the longer positions that I'm bullish on. But what do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and you have a wonderful day.